What's up YouTube, it's your boy Stans here, and welcome back to another Pokemon video here on the channel. And as you guys can see, it's not one of our normal upload days for Pokemon, and it's not an opening. So what we're working with today, guys, will be a deck profile, and this is going to be, as you guys can see, there's a lid in right in front of you guys, so it is INCINEROAR GX. It's a deck profile based around him. It's probably not the best one, but you know what, with Guardians Rising coming out like within the next 2 weeks, like really soon, pre-release is already starting, I figured I'd get through some deck profiles before Guardians Rising is officially out, so that you guys can get an idea of what to play, or what you want to alter if you like the decks that I put out and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So starting things off, we have 4 Littens, and the Litten that I use is the promo one from the 3-pack blisters with the collect attack. This one, of course, for colorless, lets you draw a card. Then I go ahead and play 2 copies of Toralcat, just in case for some reason I get item locked or I don't see a rare candy. Toralcat is our way of getting into Incineroar. Then we play 3 copies of Incineroar GX, with the first attack being Hustling Strike, 10 base, attack does 20 more damage for each of your benched fire Pokemon. Then it has Tiger Swing for 80 base, flip 2 coins, this attack does 50 more for each damage for each heads. And then of course the GX attack. The GX attack being your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned, and it does 200 damage. So, of course, with the GX Pokemon being higher in XP, or HP, I'm sorry, with their EXs, it's normally a pretty good knockout. But, since it does require 3 energies for, well, basically it's attacks, we do need something to beef it up a bit. So, we're going with 4 baby Volcanions. We tried going with 3 at one point, playing it like it was Volcanion. To be honest, you want to see this baby Volcanion as much as possible as your starting Pokemon, so you can get started with the Power Heater. That's absolutely a must, pretty much. If not, you know, it's basically pointless, to be honest. And then we play 1 copy of Shaman. Of course, we use it for the setup ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may drop cards up until you have 6 in your hand. There's this as an option. There was a Rangaroo as an option. No draw support is an option, so I was like, yeah, I don't know what to go with. But, yeah, that's basically the Pokemon lineup. Then we play our supporters. 4 copies of Professor Sycamore. Even though we're talking about draw support in Pokemon, we have draw support for our supporter lineups. So, of course, discard your hand and draw 7 cards. Then we play 2 copies of N. Each player shuffles his or her hand into his or her deck, and each player draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards. So, of course, great if you have a bad start, great if you're trying to slow your opponent down. Just great card overall. Then 2 copies of Lysander. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with his or her active Pokemon. So, of course, there's going to be some things on the bench that you're going to want to get rid of, or maybe easy targets for you, to be honest. So if your opponent has like a Shaman on the bench, you know you can get that easy knockout. Of course, you're going to reach out for that. Another thing is, like, if they're beefing up something on the bench, there's a good way of, you know, getting that out of the way by Lysandering it out. Then our last supporter, we have 1 copy of Olympia. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. If you do, heal 30 damage from the Pokemon you move to your bench. So sometimes you may get stuck like a Shaman up top or something like that. Olympia is a good way of getting that back. Then we go ahead and play 4 copies of VS Seeker. Of course, you put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. So with this, you can get any of the supporters I just showed off, and we can go ahead and reuse those cards. Now, of course, since our main guy is Incineroar GX, and we want to get to him as fast as possible, Rare Candy, you go ahead and choose one of your basic Pokemon and play. If you have a stage 2 in your hand that evolves from that Pokemon, put this card on the basic and it counts as evolving. You can't use this on your first turn or on a basic Pokemon that was just put into play. But of course, you will come into situations where a Liden's just been sitting there, ready to evolve. So it's good to have that rare candy in there. Of course, you will get item lock, hence the reason why the Torracat's in here. Then we play 4 copies of Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball would be to discard anything, probably our energies, to go ahead and get whatever card we actually need. Most of the time it's to search the Incineroar GX so we have, you know, for the rare candy place, so the rare candy actually goes through. Then we play 3 copies of Trainer's Mail. Of course, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal them, and put a Trainer's card you find in there into your hand. Except, of course, Trainer's Mail itself. And then we'll go ahead and play 2 copies of Nest Ball, just so we can search out our Pokemon a lot faster. Probably fill the bench up with fire Pokemon so that Hustling Strike can actually do a little bit more damage. Then we play 2 copies of Floatstone. Sometimes it's just probably past the time of your Volcanion being active that you want to switch up to your Incineroar. Or maybe your Shaman gets stuck up in, as you're active. So Floatstone is a great card to play in the deck. Maybe if your Incineroar is maybe taking too much damage, that's a good thing too. Then we play 2 copies of Professor's Letter. Of course, we want to get to those energies as fast as we can so that we can, to be honest, discard them. You want them in the discard pile. Make sure that Volcanion goes off pretty well. Then our last item card is 1 copy of Super Rod. You shuffle 3 of any combination of Pokemon and basic energy from your discard pile into your deck. So of course, if there's some cards necessary that you need from your discard pile, you can go ahead and put them back into your deck. Then for stadiums, we play 2 copies of Scorched Earth. Once during either player's turn, the player may discard a fire or fighting from his or her hand. The player draws 2 cards off of that. So, I guess the key for this deck, or for at least my skeleton, my build, is to get energy in the discard pile so your Volcanion's good to go. Volcanion's not going to be your main hitter, but it's going to be your main acceleration for any energy. Try to beef up your Pokemon as much as you can. Then, of course, we play 1 copy of Skyfield. So just in case if you want to actually use Hustling Strike to its fullest ability, you can go ahead and Skyfield and try to put up as many fire types as you possibly can. And then the last 12 cards of the deck is energies. We play 12 fire energies. It's kind of like if we're playing Volcanion itself. Basically, most of the rough draft of the build, minus the rare candies and stuff like that, is Volcanion. You guys can see that from the last week's video, where you guys can see like the differences and whatnot. But it looks like that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Let me know if you guys use it in real life. Let me know the changes you guys would do. Make sure you click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Reminder, giveaway still going on until May 5th for that Guardians Rising Elite Trainer box. Go ahead and take advantage of that, guys. I'm doing this for you. So until next time, guys, which is probably going to be tomorrow for a different deck profile. See you guys later. Peace!